Yeah, thank you. Finally, no fucking buffering. Uh, Good morning, all. My name is Mike. Today we're going to learn about Wales during the 2020s, which is this wonderful, wicked century. Although it's not wicked, it started off with COVID. It's fucking shit. So let's start off with 2020, which was a fucking shit year. Um, Stay indoors, don't go out 2 meters from each other. 2020 Wales. Events. 1st January. The mystery runner at the annual Nos Galan races in Romford Cannon Taff. Assembly member Nick Ramsey is arrested by police after an incident at his home in Raglan, but is subsequently released without charge. Huh, bastards. Fucking incident at his home. 8th January. It is revealed that Blas Gwynlefon, a mansion near Carnarvon, purchased in 2016 for conversion to a hotel, is now in the hands of receivers. 9th January 2020. The rape victim in the Ross England case says in an interview with Victoria Derbyshire that the official inquiry into the conduct of former Welsh Secretary Alan Cairns was a sham. 12th January. David Owen's protest song "Yma i Hyde", originally recorded in 1981, reaches the top of the iTunes chart following a campaign by the Welsh independence movement Yes Cymru. 13th of January 13th of January 2020. The Welsh Government approves the construction of a new bridge across the River Daffy at Machynlleth at a cost of £46 million. That's expensive. 14th of January. It is revealed that the new Rapid Diagnosis Centre at Neath Port Talbot Hospital has been effective in reducing waiting times and could result in savings of more than £150,000 per 1,000 patients. That's fucking insane. 24th of January. The Slate landscape of North West Wales is nominated by the UK government for consideration as a United Nations World Heritage Site. 5th of February 2020. Dyfed-Powys Police announced that they have been successful in using DNA profiling to confirm the ownership of a stolen cow worth £3,000. They are the first police authority in the UK to employ the technique in such circumstances. 9th of February 2020. At the 92nd Academy Awards, nominees including Welsh actors Jonathan Pryce, nominated for Best Actor, and Anthony Hopkins, nominated for Best Supporting Actor. Storm Ciara sweeps across Wales, causing severe flooding in Llanrwst, Nantgarw, and other towns and villages. 13th of February 2020. Nick Ramsey, Assembly member, confirms that he had been reinstated as a member of the Welsh Conservative Party group in the Senedd, and has dropped his legal challenge against the decision by group leader Paul Davies to suspend him. 16th to the 17th of February 2020. Storm Dennis causes further floods and other damage in Wales, with at least one resultant death. Among the places worst hit are Pontypridd, Aberdauglis, and Crickhowell. Residents in Nantgarw and Pentree are affected by the second time in 2 weeks. 20th of February 2020. Natural Resources Wales admits that recent tree falling activities in the Pentree area caused a blocked culvert that resulted in a second round of flooding to hit the local area during the month. 21st of February 2020. The Prince of Wales visits flood victims in the Pontypridd area. 28th of February. COVID-19 pandemic in Wales. Authorities confirm that first case of COVID-19 in Wales, an individual who recently returned from holiday in Italy. 8th of March 2020. The Welsh Government publishes plans to allow some prisoners to vote in council elections. Bad idea. 11th of March, COVID-19 pandemic in Wales. Wales has its first case of community transmission when a patient in Caerphilly with no travel history tests positive for COVID-19. 12th of March 2020. COVID-19 pandemic in Wales. A patient at Wrexham Maylor Hospital tests positive for COVID-19. The first case in North Wales. 13th of March 2020. COVID-19 pandemic in Wales. Health Minister Vaughan Gething at the time announces that all non-urgent outpatient appointments and operations will be suspended at hospitals in Wales in a bid to delay the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic, which that didn't work out. COVID-19 pandemic in Wales. Elections, including those for 4 police and crime commissioners in Wales, scheduled for May 2020, are postponed for a year because of the pandemic. 16th of March 2020. COVID-19 pandemic in Wales. Authorities report the first coronavirus-related death in Wales. 18th of March 2020. COVID-19 pandemic in Wales. The Welsh Government announces that all schools in Wales will close from the end of the week. 22nd of March, COVID-19 pandemic in Wales. The Welsh Government advises Wales's most vulnerable people to stay indoors for a period of 12 to 16 weeks. 24th of March, COVID-19 pandemic in Wales. It is announced that the Prince of Wales has tested positive for COVID-19. 1st of April 2020. COVID-19 pandemic in Wales. Multinational pharmaceutical company Roche denies the existence of the deal to supply Wales with COVID-19 tests after First Minister Mark Drakeford and Health Minister at the time, Vaughan Gething, blamed the collapse of the deal for the shortage of testing kits. 3rd of April 2020. COVID-19 pandemic in Wales. The Welsh Government announces the funding arrangements for necessary to keep Cardiff Airport solvent during the crisis. 12th of April. COVID-19 pandemic in Wales. The new temporary Dragon's Heart Hospital opens at Cardiff's Principality Stadium to admit its first patient. 21st of 2020, the Welsh Government cancels the planned independent inquiry into the circumstances surrounding the dismissal of Carl Sargent from the cabinet of former First Minister Carwyn Jones and agrees to pay legal fees incurred by the Sargent family. 6th of May 2020. The National Assembly for Wales becomes Senedd Cymru Welsh Parliament. Its members become members of the Senedd. Iledw a Senedd. 7th of May 2020. COVID-19 pandemic in Wales. Tracy Cooper, the Chief Executive of Public Health Wales, admits to the Senedd's Health Committee that she did not know about the Welsh Government's goal of carrying out 9,000 COVID-19 tests a day. 8th of May 2020. COVID-19 pandemic in Wales. First Minister Mark Drakeford announces that the COVID-19 lockdown in Wales will be extended for a further 3 weeks. 12th of May 2020. The organisers of the National Eisteddfod, which was due to be held in Tregaron in the first week of August, announce an alternative event, the Eisteddfod Emgen, whatever that means. 15th of May 2020. COVID-19 pandemic in Wales. The Welsh Government's plan for exiting the lockdown is announced by the First Minister. 3rd of June 2020. The Welsh Government announces that schools in Wales will reopen on 29th of June 2020. 12th of June 2020. COVID-19 pandemic in Wales. First Minister Mark Drakeford announces that the R number for Wales is the lowest in the UK at 0.7. 18th of June 2020. COVID-19 pandemic in Wales. 96 workers at 2 North Wales food production factories test positive for COVID-19. 19th of June 2020, COVID-19 pandemic in Wales. First Minister Mark Drakeford announces changes to lockdown restrictions with effect from 6th of July. 20th of June, builders merchant Travis Perkins announces the closure of 3 North Wales outlets. 26th of June 2020. After police are called to further incidents at Ogmore by Sea, the First Minister warns that lockdown restrictions will not be eased if people fail to observe rules on travel and social distancing. 2nd of July 2020. Airbus confirms that 1,435 jobs will be lost at Broughton in Flintshire. 3rd of July 2020. COVID-19 pandemic in Wales. The Welsh Government confirms that travel restrictions resulting from the pandemic will be relaxed on 6th of July. 15th of July 2020. The Welsh Government agrees to debate Welsh independence for the first time since the Welsh Assembly was created in 1999. The debate is at the request of Plaid Cymru, following poll results that show a high level of approval for the devolved government's handling the COVID-19 pandemic in Wales. 31st of July Her Majesty's Coast Guard announced the deployment of unmanned aircraft for, for search and rescue purposes over North Wales during the coming weekend. 3rd of August 2020, CP Pharmaceuticals in Wrexham, a subsidiary of Wockhardt, is announced as having won a contract to supply COVID-19 vaccine from the COVID-19 vaccination programme in the UK. 10th of August 2020, flash flooding affects Aberystwyth and thunderstorms occur throughout North Wales. 20th of August 2020, it was revealed that Wales's only golden eagle living in a wild has been found dead, probably from natural causes. 26th of August 2020, a major fire breaks out near Llangannach when a freight train loaded with diesel fuel is derailed on a journey from Milford Haven. No one is seriously injured, but diesel oil spills into the River Loyal. Local residents are evacuated. 7th of September 2020, COVID-19 pandemic in Wales. The first local lockdown in Wales is announced, as the county of Caerphilly is placed under restrictions that will last at least a month. It follows the discovery that 98 people have tested positive in a week, giving the county the highest infection rate in Wales. 21st of September 2020, right-wing extremists from all over the UK are blamed by the police and First Minister for blocking the entrance to the former army camp at Penally in Pembrokeshire, being used temporarily to house asylum seekers from Iran and Iraq. 25th of September 2020, Swansea, Llanelli and Cardiff go into local lockdown, joining Caerphilly, Newport, Bridgend, Merthyr, Blaenau Gwent and Romford Connaught and Vale of Glamorgan as well. Ford Bridgend engine plant closes. 30th of September 2020. It is confirmed that 8 patients have died in the outbreak of COVID-19 at the Royal Glamorgan Hospital, Llantrisant, and that 60 patients have been infected from the source at the hospital. All surgery at the hospital is suspended. Pontypridd MP Alex Davies-Jones and Assembly Member Mick Antonew issue a joint statement expressing their concern. 9th of October 2020. In the postponed Queen's Birthday Honours 2020, Welsh recipients include Warren Gatland, former Wales rugby head coach, and opera singer Rebecca Evans, Wales rugby captain Alan Wyn-Jones, and artist Glynis Cowell. 10th of October 2020. Bangor and Gwynedd goes into local lockdown, joining other North Wales counties Conwy, Denbighshire, Flintshire and Wrexham.